wasn't really fitting in that stand, so uno, dos, tres.
Welcome to Anchored at Harvard Park CrossFit. I'm your co-host, Corian.
And I'm Coach Dave.
You threw me for a loop.
Episode 91, yeah, I did. I started that one a little differently. And we're back on the couch.
By starting that one, for those who aren't watching the video, he just stared at me after you pressed record.
I did. Wanted to see if she could operate on the fly. And she failed miserably.
Because that's always your thing. I'm not trying to jump all over what you're doing. We should have made tea, because now I'm really thirsty.
Tea is more of a sipping.
I know.
Not really
Would
something.
it be great right now because it's chilly, because God forbid that it is, warm at all in April. So like a nice hot tea right now would have been perfect for our podcasting.
Well, maybe we'll make tea after the episode.
Maybe.
All right, so episode 91. Like I said, we're back on the couch.
And
We're back on the couch.
happy birthday, Coach Dave. If you guys aren't following us, we are recording it on his birthday. So for those who do pay attention, that means we recorded this 2 days before it's released. But whatever.
We're a little behind, I guess, on our podcast, but
Getting stuff done today.
got other stuff that takes precedence, and sometimes the podcast gets put on the back burner until last second. We try to get 2 weeks out. Sorry, Rebecca, if you're listening to this and you're editing. We appreciate you, and we're sorry we're always last second.
Yes. We'll get better someday. But
Give me leeway. It's my 58th birthday.
I was just going to say, for all of our listeners, do we want to tell them how old Boss Dad Dave is?
Finally 21. I should say, like your mom always says, it's the 16th anniversary of my 21st
all what
birthday.
I say. What do you mean my mom?
Your mom always says that.
No, that's literally me. I came up with that.
Okay, you and your mom always say that.
No, my mom never said that.
All right, so it's my if you do math, it's
his
my
old age. He's losing it, guys.
Where are we right now? 16th anniversary of my 21st birthday.
Whoop, whoop.
So tonight I'm gonna get drunk. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. It's a Wednesday, and everything's closed.
Everything's closed. So what do we?
We are on week 4, 5.
This is 5.
Really?
No, this is 4. This is 4. Yeah.
In theory, yeah, like it's week 4 of the shutdown. So it's been a month for us, and unfortunately, there was some news last week that this is going to continue for quite a while still. Whether that's to actually be seen, I don't know. People are not happy about the governor's orders to extend our stay-at-home order. So we'll see how that actually looks. I think this entire endeavor has been a day-to-day, regardless of what they say. So I don't really take anything that is said fully.
It's truly an
good
endeavor.
or bad.
Truly an endeavor. And there's two sides, I feel, to how you feel about the orders. There's a lot of people out there who think like, oh, it's too soon to open, and that's obviously you're right, and you can obviously feel that way. Totally,
Mm-hmm.
And then the other side of it's like, hey, like you can't keep us locked down forever. And I guess like whatever side of the coin you're on or the fence you're on, I think we all have to come together and like realize and respect each other's personal opinions. Like I guess I get a little frustrated because I'll see like it's almost like bullying on social medias, or like just because you believe whatever side you're on doesn't mean the other side is wrong. And I guess it shouldn't be put out there that like, if you believe you have to wear a mask and you believe you have to stay home, if you believe that this virus is really bad and that's what you believe in, then I respect your decision. But like you have to also understand like there's other people out there who have a difference of opinion of you, and like I see both sides, and it's just funny, and I don't know if it's really funny. I just think it's like people are just angry at both sides, and like you just see these people going back and forth arguing about it, and it's like, can't we just realize that your opinion is your opinion and somebody else's opinion is their opinion? And like, my stance on it is, yes, there's a pandemic. It is a virus just like any other major virus, which is like the swine flu is a major virus. Ebola is a major virus. You know, there's other disease that is major, you know, and we have to treat it cautiously, just like you would if somebody came in and you came across somebody, like, you know, I remember being a police officer for 10 years, and like, if you knew...
TB was huge.
Yeah.
Still is.
If you came across an inmate or somebody you were arresting and they had AIDS, they had hepatitis, they had any type of, you know, pathogen, transmittable, you know, disease, you had to take cautions. And then like the same thing here, like you have to take cautions. And I feel like I could be cautious enough to wash my hands, cautious enough to keep things clean, like, but like, I just feel there's just so much anger on either side.
I do. I agree with you. And I think that for me, the thing that we talk about all the time in life is there's things you can control and there's things you can't. And unfortunately, one of the things you cannot control is other people's reactions and desires when it comes to what's going on. And that, like you said, is on both sides. I cannot control someone who thinks and like, this is a pandemic. It is real. And I can't control that someone wants to protect themselves. I can only control how I react to that. I can respect their space. I can respect their stuff. I can, as a gym owner, respect their membership and give them the best of my ability as a coach and an owner with virtual classes and borrowing out equipment and coffee dates and all those sort of stuff. But we also have to respect that some people are not as concerned of the stay-at-home order and they do want to get back to the gym and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so no matter what I agree with, I have to accept the fact that this is reality and this is how people are treating this. And then what is my reaction to that? Yeah. If I'm someone that wants to stay at home, then I can do that. If I'm someone that wants to go to the gym and still help those people that want to go to the gym, I should be able to do that. And I think our whole society is built on this, and it's been bubbling up to this moment because, I mean, look at all of the major issues over the last several years, couple decades about, you know, the housing crisis and, you know, Black Lives Matter and all the other protests that go on is everybody's fighting to force everybody else to believe what they believe. And when you do that, neither side is right. Everybody's entitled to their own beliefs and their own way of doing things. And essentially, I mean, to be honest, like, I get it. Everybody's like, well, you're spreading this pandemic, which is then going to affect me. Again, the pandemic is out there. If you are someone that doesn't want to catch it, you have to take the precautions to not catch it. No matter what precautions I take to not spread it, your precautions to not get infected will outweigh anything else I do. So.
Yeah, my fear is like, the one, like, yes, okay, there's several fears here, and the economy is one of them. Like, you shut down the economy, granted, yes, the government is pumping money in, and people are on unemployment. I heard that some people are making more money on unemployment, but that money comes from somewhere, and that money comes from the taxpayers, and at some point that money is going to run out. Now, the government can always fabricate more money. I mean, they just came up with trillions of dollars that they just came up with, right? That's apparently we're in so much debt. You know, they always talk about the being in so much debt, but where did we get all these hundreds of trillions of dollars? Well, we're borrowing it from somebody. We're back borrowing and steal from somebody, right? Which is tanking now our oil prices, which is going to affect something down the line. It always happens. You know, all these companies are going to get bailed out again, like the airline companies. But the issue that we have is, so like, yes, we're okay because we're getting stimulus money. We're okay because everybody's on unemployment and they're just dumping money in. But that will water down the dollar bill, which means now it's not worth as much money. So when we go back and now housing prices are starting to skyrocket because all these banks are lending everybody money, and the government, that's who they're lending the money to, on these really low loans, they're going to get their money back. These bankers are not, people lending the money are not just giving the money away. But if you have a tanking economy who isn't making any money, living off the government,
you take too long to make your point.
I know, I'm trying to say, what's worse? You have somebody who, is living off the government, doesn't work, and is sick, right? Can't afford everything because they're not working. Or we have a thriving economy. We can pay for our health care. We can pay for everything.
Let's just wrap this all up in a bow. You take too long to make a point. Think about when the economy crashed back in 2008 and we had how many people on unemployment, and everybody threw a fit. This is not right. People shouldn't be on unemployment because, again, it diminishes your own personal self-worth and it drains the economy.
Yep.
We have how much more people on unemployment right now because they're out of jobs. But everybody thinks, oh, well, once this is over, I'll be back to work. For fucking who? Who are you going back to work with if your job doesn't survive?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other concern.
So then what you're creating is a society of people who are then dependent on, the vast majority will be dependent on the government. And now you have a society that has no right or say. Like, I have no fluctuation on my income. I can't work harder or work less. It's just what you give me. And then I have to decide how that money gets spent. You are creating an entire society of dependent people. And that is going to put us in a totally different world than what anybody even realizes.
So ultimately, like, politics aside, like, we don't want to get into that, but because there are two sides or three sides, if you want to look at it that way. There's so many different viewpoints on government. I am not about big government. I think everybody should have their own right, and government is there to kind of help make decisions for us and be our voice, not tell us what to do. So the lockdown officially, whatever side you're on, officially like locks you down and tells you what to do, and it restricts your freedoms. Mm-hmm. So it is a restriction of your freedom. I guess, like, there is a pandemic. I agree with it. I agree we need to take cautions, and I'm not just saying just open everything up and let's get back to normal, because there is and that's the biggest thing, there is going to be no more normal. The normal that you knew prior to this is gone. So there will always be a change now. We've changed society.
Yeah, we were just talking about this. We're not going to just one day be like, okay, everybody go back to normal. Everybody's back to work. Let's high five. Let's fist bump. Let's give each other hugs as we leave. That's not fucking going to happen. Yeah. And I love you all. I do. I love our members. But we've been trying to talk to you guys about, this is long-term implications and effects. And this will change. A lot of companies, like I was just talking to one of our other members, has already decided, like, you guys working from home is working. So guess what? When we, quote unquote, open back up, you guys are maintaining what you're doing. So now that client she now knows for a fact her routine is now different. It will not be the same. She'll probably jump in some daytime classes instead of just the 5:30 a.m. because of that. So guys, just take a breath, relax, and say, if things stay this way or close to this way, how can I live within this reality? Because that's what it is.
Yeah, I think the issue that we're still seeing with our members is clinging to the before and really dwelling on that and not finding motivation is what we're hearing.
Relationship is sailed.
That's what I'm saying. So, like,
it's over, guys.
It will change the way we do things, and we never know. Like everybody says, well, when there's a cure, this is a virus. There's usually not a cure to a virus. They can come up with medicines that can help combat it. So, they might sit there and come up with a way to, okay, you get it, we can use this medicine to combat it, and it'll help it, right?
Like a flu shot that y'all get every year that just picks and chooses which flu is going to be the worst.
They take a stab at it and hope that that's going to be the one that you build up resistance to for that year. But, like, I don't think there's ever going to be a so-called, like, cure, like, oh, we're all going to get vaccinated and we're good and never going to have it again, right? There's still the chance it'll help definitely slow it and maybe push it down and stop it down, but it'll still be around. We all have to be cautious of it. But then this also thinks of like, what does the next virus look like? So then we have to make those changes, right? So we don't get locked down again. So I totally agree that like we have to be cautious. We can't just open everything back up because then you're going to spike everything, and then we're in the same trouble.
I do think this is a way for societies and populations as a whole. We've watched a lot of documentaries, both on food and like vegetation and meat growing, and diseases spread when there's a high concentration of a species in a small area. And because maybe as a whole, the globe has not been taking their health seriously, there's garbage in the streets, everybody doesn't wipe their hands when they cough or they, sneeze in open air, all those things. I think this is going to make people take that step back and rethink going forward for all diseases.
Yeah. And
this is going to change how people interact. No handshakes.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is beyond just what this disease is. Mm-hmm. This is like, you got to think of this.
All diseases are pretty much
spread the same way. So I guess what I'm saying is like the gym, and I know some people have said that and they've contacted me and was like, you shouldn't open the gym. Like I'm saying, the reason I'm mad about the governor's orders to extend this now 2 months was there was never any, it was just like, nope, we're done. And there was no talk about like, okay, if you believe, what I think it should be was, if you think you're essential, you need to be open, you need to present us some ideas on how you're going to be safe and protect your customers. Give us a plan. You can't just open your doors.
Yeah,
so what is your plan?
We were doing, because again, most diseases are spread the same way. So we clean things down and we wipe things. Right. You're going to get sick. It's inevitable because you're human. Mm-hmm. Something's going to wreck you. I got sick for the first time in like 2-3 years. Just like when you're an athlete, you're going to get injured. It's part of the lifestyle. There is no way to prevent you getting sick as a human, but you can make yourself healthier by working out, eating healthy, getting your sleep, lower stress levels, washing your hands, brushing your teeth, all of those things. So again, guys, this is what life is, regardless of if the gym opens fully or partially or stays virtual. What are you going to do to accept it?
Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest thing is, so you have to understand that your way of life prior, you don't want to live in the past, so we have to move past it, right? I think the people who continue to cling on to, I just want everything to go back to normal, you have to understand that that's not going to happen. This has changed us and society, so like, what can we do going forward? Mm-hmm. Let's just understand that things are going to change, and like you have to kind of let go of that. You can't keep holding on to that, so.
I made a post that said, just because you're accepting something doesn't mean you agree with it. You're just accepting a reality. If you refuse to accept reality, you can't take steps, again, to react and choose your reaction because you're pretending it doesn't exist. This exists. It's truthful and it's honest. Now, once you accept it, what can you do?
Yep.
Step one, acceptance.
So that's step one. And then getting into that new reality and like, what can we do? So like the people who are like, I just can't find motivation. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's talk about our gym plan of what we talked about with our team of like, to maybe reassure some of the people who were a little reluctant or a little scared that we are chatting about trying to reopen. The thing that we planned as a gym was, our plan is to limit class sizes. So we'll have very small classes. We don't know what that number will be yet, but we had chatted about a number of like maybe no more than 8 people in a class, and that would include the coach. So that would put us at 9. We would tape off the ground in 10-foot sections to keep people, and you would be assigned your section on the floor, and you're basically there. The night prior, we would set out all the equipment in those boxes for you, so there would be no crossing. So basically, you come in, there's your box, you sign in, we'd have you sign into class just like we were doing before we left, so there's no touch points. There's your equipment, and then we wipe it all down when we're done. You stay in your box.
Stay during class time so people aren't coming and going at the same time.
We talked about like doing a 3 o'clock. If we did it in-person classes, the next class following the in-person class would be virtual, and then the next class following the virtual would be in person. So we have a staggering of those classes so that there was never any crossing or people waiting So we wouldn't have any of that.
And like we said, we want to respect everybody. People are not going to be like, oh, everything's open, let's go back to the gym. I 100% respect your decision to stay home. And I'll provide you the best service. So like Dave said, we're going to flip-flop. We're going to, as a soft opening, we'll do some in-person classes and still keep those virtual classes. And as we continue open, we want both to be an option, because we do respect that people have different opinions on what they want.
Yeah, and some people have some amazing home gyms, and you know, and like this also helps us reach those people who aren't just in Racine and Wisconsin. So our talk was, our plan is to always keep that going, and that could mean where people, let's just say, you know, they're like, hey, I'm having a really busy week, I'm going to work out, but I can't get to the gym, but they can jump into those virtual classes. So it's kind of always an option for any of our members to do. So that's the talk, and that's what we're planning on doing. We would eliminate our open gym hours at nighttime. So again, there's not too many people in the gym. We know that's an inconvenience, but it's something we're gonna have to do and sacrifice for, you know, to make sure that we can stay open and be, you know, operational and functional.
I think one of the biggest things is, like, I think that people are like, oh, well, the state of Wisconsin says you need to stay closed. Well, Governor Evers, like, he's a governor. He's not a health official. So we're going to follow what the CDC recommends. Like, that I think is the most important, which is what the federal government is doing. They're following the recommendations of the CDC. So we will also follow those recommendations. So like you said, the smaller classes, wiping everything down, not having people pass each other, you know, all of those sort of things. Because I don't think like just being closed is the answer. But
I mean, the scary part is, you know, there are gyms, like I saw one lady post in our group today, and she's like, she had to make
tons.
Yeah, I mean, but every day I'm seeing one more person post, like they have to close. One lady was crying and made a picture. She was just like trying to be real about it. She posted a picture when she opened. She was super happy, and she's showing off her gym and smiling. And the side by side was her closing her gym officially for good, saying, "I can't sustain. Like, I'm done. Like, there's no point." You know, I know that we put out an email last week. We put out our video, and we do want to thank all the members who stepped up to help the gym, and other members too. That's just truly amazing. Kind of makes us continue to fight for you guys, just because we see how strong our community is, and it makes us want to continue to fight. And we want to make sure that you guys understand that, like, we're not struggling, we're not losing members left and right. We have had several members, you know, who put a freeze on because they either having some financial issues, or, you know, the uncertain times. So we totally understand it and we respect it. We thank the members who stepped up and said, hey, I'll help out any way I can, so thank you. But the chat was, you know, if you want to step up and help, as those people are, because other people have been like, hey, I want to help, we truly appreciate it. What we're doing is, if we don't need the funds right away, we're saving it and we're putting it in kind of like a emergency fund, which we have chatted about potentially, maybe even after we open and continue on, to continue having this fund for people, because we've had people in the past who unfortunately lose their job, or things happen, or maybe their spouse loses their job,
unexpected medical bills,
and all of a sudden they're like, hey, I have to go on hold. And then we're just like, okay, we'll put them on hold. Well, then they leave the gym, and then we don't see them for 2 or 3 months, and then they can fall off really easily because they're disconnected from that community. Life continues to hit them. So the thought was, we're going to keep this fund going and see if people want to continue to help and donate to it. What would happen is, let's just say Corian comes to me and says, hey, I would like to donate to the fund. We would take the donation, we'll keep it, and we would mark it in our, you know, we would mark how much you paid for, or how many months you did, and then the gym would then match the months. So let's say Corian donated 3 months worth of payments for the fund, the gym would then match 3 months. And then we're going to talk about, there's certain criteria to get on and receive it, but we would say probably you would receive the 1 month from the person who donated it, and then the gym would match that, so that person who's having financial difficulties would get the 2 months to be able to continue working at the gym. And that way, like, they stay connected to that community. It helps them 2 months to be able to get back on their feet, and then they have to make the decision after that. And the gym can make we can make decisions based on that. But we figured the 2 months with the gym match and the member, and then if we don't need it, let's just say we get to like the end of the year and we still have money left over in this fund, we would do something awesome for the members. All you guys, like maybe a barbecue. We would do maybe put it towards the Christmas thing or the Thanksgiving party that we do, as long as we can still have parties. We'd put it towards a competition or prizes, or even just upgrading equipment, so we could put it back to all those things at the end of the year. So that's some of the things that we're trying to roll out with right now.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested in helping out, you want to help out, we do appreciate you. Thank you all for who has helped out. If you want to, reach out and let us know.
Yeah. He talks so long.
Yeah, because I'm a talker. What else?
Who would have thought?
I know, introvert.
So we're talking. We got totally derailed. We were talking about like accepting this.
Yep, and then we talked about the procedures.
Our procedures. We want to talk about motivation.
Yeah.
So this is where I come in a lot. Our belief on what motivation is not what it actually is. Everybody just thinks like, if you want something, you're going to be like, oh, I can do whatever I need to do to get that. Motivation is a mixed thing. Like, yeah, you wake up some days and you're just feeling very energetic. That's just good vibes. Not go to anything. And yeah, sometimes when you have a new job or decide to go to school, you'll like have that motivation. You'll wake up early and you'll get ready. But true motivation is actually just habits and routines that set you up for success. And I know that the biggest struggle why people quote unquote can't find motivation is because their triggers and their habits that get them motivated have been stripped away. So me and you were talking about this, and we do this even in our own home well before this even started. We have a designated office. We have in our home for when we work from home. What happens when I go in there? I go in my office, I set my computer up, put my headphones in, I start playing Spotify, and boom, trigger, motivated to work. If I sat in the living room
on the couch,
with
the TV,
and Dave's got the TV on, or it's sunny outside, or something else, and I don't start, I am not motivated at all because I didn't trigger myself to the steps to get doing what I need to do. I talk about this with my clients all the time. Sleeping. Why do we have a sleep routine? So we go to bed. Why do we have a morning routine? So we get the fuck up and go to work. Why do we have that, gym bags in the car, drive to work, turn on your tunes, look at the WOD. All right, that's your motivation. Again, we have to accept reality for what it is. All those things have been stripped away. So how do you find motivation? What are you doing, Dave?
Me, I still get up at the same time. So I kept my routine the first couple days was hard. I slept in. I was like, whatever, this is weird, But now I'm in my routine.
Let's take that back. First 2.5 weeks, we did not sleep in because we were readjusting the entire business.
Right. Well,
then once we found like our rhythm and everything was, then we started getting like real weird. We were like
2 weeks in, it was like, what do we do, right? We felt like everything kind of changed, and now we had everything set up, and it was like,
oh, I can go to the gym whenever I want. So make my videos.
I still keep my morning routine the same. I try don't get caught up in the things that derail you. One of the things that are make me productive is, I like to go in and check all the messages from coaches, make sure there's nothing pending there, and then, check all the accounts and everything's, coming through that way, and there's no hiccups there. Make the relevant posts, and then maybe I'll look at Facebook later when everything's
But what
done.
triggers you to start doing that, right? Your alarm goes off.
Yeah.
Dave is a huge advocate for getting up and out of bed. I am not. But that's just me. You're up and out of bed. You go start coffee. I know that you typically, I don't know if you're still doing this right now, some sort of calming, meditating, journaling, something like that. All those things, right? Mm-hmm. You go sit in the office, you sit down with your coffee, boom, triggered. Now you're motivated. Like you said, you check your notes, and you do the little things. All right, responding to what coaches need, not a lot of effort, probably not even going to be there. Boom, one more step triggered. Then you check, what'd you say?
The business stuff.
Business accounts, right? Boom, little motivated. Now you're getting motivated, you're getting those things. So like for me, this is what I need to do. I wake up. Dave so graciously brings me coffee in bed, which I love him for. I personally will journal. Then, and I have to journal, so it takes me some time. Then I start sipping my coffee. I found that I wasn't reading a business book in the morning, which was making me very unmotivated. So I read a business book. Right now I'm doing Tim Ferriss's Tribe of Mentors, which is a bunch of questions to very successful people that help me feel very motivated. And then at a certain point, I get out of bed, I come out here, I do my things. When I go into work mode, same thing. I start by emptying all the junk email that I don't need to, because I condense, 40 notifications down to 5 to 10 or 15. That gets me motivated because now I'm not so overwhelmed. And then I go through the motions. I answer all my emails and I answer all the text messages. And then I'm like, okay, what are the projects I need to work on today? These are habits and routines that get you motivated. And without having the ability to drive to work, listen to the radio, get that trigger, what do you need or what can you try? I'm not going to say the first thing you pick is going to work. You got to try different things. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take it's going to take a week or two to make that a habit.
Yep. So we talked about this a little bit in the last episode. If you haven't done so, go back and listen to that one. And then we encourage you to read the book, The Power of Habit, because it talks about this. And I was reading some posts from members in the member group about how long hours, long days, and then they come home and they're just exhausted. And once they get home, they don't want to throw on the computer, or they're just not motivated to work out. Whereas normally they'd get off work, they'd go right to the gym, and then the gym's atmosphere would pump them up. It's completely different, and they're just like, I just don't know what it is. Well, we've talked about this. This is your habit loop. What do you do when you're home? Generally, in the past, your home is your place of comfort, right? It's your place where you go to sleep. You're winding down normally at the end of the day. So again, that's your habit loop of that you haven't broken. Yeah. So all of a sudden you're home and your body's like, okay, what's going on? We're supposed to be relaxed and calming down now. So that's where that's coming in, but now you have to force yourself to get out of that habit loop, or it's never going to happen. So you have to find something, whether that's, all right, I'm going to turn on some jams and some tunes. I'm going to make sure that I get home and I go right into I'm going to change out of my work clothes. I'm going to go right into my gym clothes, write it down, put it on your fridge, post it, do something. The last thing you want to do is come home, sit down on that. I'm just going to sit down for that second. I just need to rest my feet for a second. Well, then you're comfortable. Now you put your feet up. Maybe you turn on that TV.
And that's why I tell people too, when people are like, oh, I'm not even going to the gym. I'm not motivated to go to the gym. Here, let's make a deal. Get to the gym, get on a bike. I don't care what else you do, right? Because I know that's the first trigger. Once they're in the gym and they're starting to move and get that blood flow, they're going to want to do something else. Mm-hmm. Whenever I'm unmotivated to work out, all I focus on is that next step and that next trigger. Go to the gym. Good. Get on a bike. Fine. I don't care if you're on it for 20 minutes and then that's all you do. That's fine. Usually when I'm really super unmotivated to work out, 5 minutes. Yep. I'll do a big long bike ride. I'll just sit on there playing on my phone. By 5 minutes, I'm warm. All right, my body's a little achy.
All those endorphins are moving.
Yeah, now my endorphins are moving. I'm going to stretch. At least I'm going to be warm and I'm going to stretch. I'm going to feel very accomplished today. Start stretching, start opening the hips, start, going through the motions. Again, there's my next trigger. And now I'm feeling a little good. All right, I don't really want to do this workout. I'll just get some things out. We'll treat it as a flow session. Second that thing starts going, boop, out the window, and I'm working out. So again, those are triggers for my motivation. I will promise you, 99% of the time, I am not as motivated as people think I am. I don't want to do business work. I don't want to weigh and measure my food and go to the grocery store. I do not want to eat healthy. I just want a pizza right now. I don't want to lift. But if I keep those habits, have healthy food in the house, that makes it really easy for me to make something. Have the gym clothes ready and clean to go. Have a plan for working out. those are what keep you motivated.
Yeah, and even if like you said, like just do something because you'll feel better inside. So even if you're like, man, look at that workout, it's a 20-minute workout, I don't feel like doing that. Like, do something simple. Do like 3 rounds of 15 air squats, 10 sit-ups, 5 burpees.
Yeah.
There you go. You know what? You do it real quick. Took you 5 minutes. Okay. Like, at least you did something. And then maybe once you do that, you'll be like, all right, maybe I'll go do this, or you know what, maybe I got that energy back. And the reason being is because that endorphin rush came through and you broke that habit loop, right? So you're getting the good chemicals released in your body. You've got to get out of the funk, right? Everybody's stressed, everybody's fearful. I'd lie to you if I didn't say I'm not stressed. I don't have some fear, right? Everybody has it, but I refuse to let it keep me down. Like, I just try to keep our habits. Try to find our triggers. We know that, we get up, we do some work in the morning, or at least, we both do, and then we make our breakfast, we make the food, and then we're out the door by 9:30 to still go to the gym and do the work that we have to do at the gym, which is, make sure that, if any packages we know are coming for certain things, and deliver products to clients who ordered stuff, talk to Rachel and Blair about coaching stuff. And then, do our videos. We do a little bit of our workouts or coach from noon, and then we go home and we do the rest from the house.
And we've said this before, like, working out right now doesn't have to be about gains. Although, Chris Miller, congratulations on your butt muscle up. Yeah. That's awesome. Super proud of you. And there is that opportunity. Chris is motivated. He's keeping a routine. He's keeping a habit. And if we're not, then our goal is solely to keep the habits and routines during this until you get the motivation. Again, most of the time I'm not nearly as motivated as people think I am, but I keep the routine. There's plenty of mornings I wake up and my journal entries are probably shit, but I'm keeping the routine so that when I am motivated and I do feel good, it's going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to people who have made this, like the best out of it. Like Cassandra Cruz, every day has been in those virtual classes, and
she tells me too. She's not motivated, but she's there.
All she has is a jump rope and 2 dumbbells. It's amazing the stuff that she comes up with when we talk about, like, it's a different type of movement. I mean, she has a pool noodle that she uses for her pass-throughs. She runs almost every day because that's her only other option. It's running or jump rope every single day. Brianna's another one. She's been getting in and, like, has 1 dumbbell. She lives in an apartment on the 2nd floor, and she's, she's swinging a backpack because that's what she has. Yeah. Tiffany has a sack of potatoes and a sack of rice.
Love it.
That she was snatching the other day, which was awesome. I mean, like, you gotta make the best.
John Lip making all his stump equipment. Yeah. I love it.
Yep.
We need to do. I was gonna post this. We need to do like a show me your best adaptation. Like, show me your pictures. Like, let's vote on it. Like, let's give a prize.
We'll do that tomorrow.
Because that's a lot of fun.
We'll do that. We'll post that Thursday, which will be tomorrow, which will be yesterday when you're listening to it. We'll post that. Let's vote on post your gym setup, and then we'll make a vote. Who has the best? Make a post on that. So you post it, and then we'll make a vote.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll even do something cool. The person with the best home gym will give you a prize.
Yeah. But I mean, guys, like you said, it's not, motivation is not a thing that you either have or you don't have. You cultivate it. That's all it is. And what do you want to cultivate? And positive triggers, negative triggers are all the same. Like, we can definitely sit here and, like I said, there was week 2, like, drinking a lot. I don't want to say a lot, but like coming home at night because we're used to not being home till 9. Now we're home at 3, 4, like you said, there's not all to do. But that's a negative trigger because it makes me not want to eat healthy, makes me not want to work out the next day. What are my positive triggers? Drinking water, drinking tea, doing my mobility, whatever it is. So, like, I want to help you guys understand that we are just creatures of habit and our habit is thrown off. And we have to just figure out now what's our new habit.
Yeah, we were just talking to Coach Shauna, our newest intern. She came in today, and you could just tell, like, she wasn't right. And I've only we've known her for a little bit, but like seeing her in person, she just looked a little off today. And I was like, "What's up? Are you doing all right?" And then she was just like, everything's off because she moved from Wyoming to Wisconsin. She's
during this.
Yeah, she doesn't have her dog. She's living with someone that, you know, she's like their living arrangement isn't going to be permanent, so she's still looking for a house and an apartment. So it's like she's just, everything's in shambles, and she doesn't have her routine. She's like, I'm a person of habit and routines, like, and my whole routine is off right now. So then I just feel like off, and I'm like, it's normal, you know. You just got to find that new routine now.
Yeah.
And like we said, you know, you
Takes a while,
take some time, but like
you gotta give it a valiant effort. 2 weeks, people, when you have a new routine.
It's really easy to get consumed by these clickbait headlines that everybody keeps reposting on Facebook. It's really easy to keep
oh my God,
keep
can
scrolling,
I just make one
and it's
request?
really easy to read all those headlines and then, you know, turn the news on and be sucked in. Like, guys, like, I know you need to be informed, and I've gotten in an argument with my parents and my family over it, like, saying that I'm not an informed citizen, and I was like, no, I get my information, like, I just choose where I get that information from, and don't just have the news on all the time. You think the sky is falling, and there's a flat earth.
Listen! When you're reading an article and posting an article,
read it all.
Read the whole fucking article. The whole thing. And that's not just this pandemic. Like, this is something that has irritated me my, like, total social existence. Read the whole article. Because you're right. The headline is clickbait. And then if you read it, like, they're generally not even anywhere close. And then as far as the news, what happens on the news? For the most part, every hour they recap it, right? That's what they're meant to do. You're just listening to the same shit over and over. Give yourself an hour, turn it off. There's no need to go for 2, 3, 4 hours. It's the same stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. that is our, hopefully,
rants and raves.
Yeah, rants and raves. I guess there's so much, and we didn't want to make another episode about the virus because it's getting a little old. But like, we're just dealing with clients, and we're trying to help you guys navigate this world, and understanding that this is the new reality. Things will get semi back to normal. And I'm not advocating that we just open everything back up, but we do have to understand that life does have to kind of get somewhat back to normal to thrive as a species, as an economy, as everything. And the worst thing we can do is just live in fear. Living in fear is no fun. Like, you know, I hear people all the time, I'm like, well, when would you not be fearful? Well, when there's a cure, which Corian said earlier, like, there's no guarantee of that. So if that takes 5 years, are you willing to live in your home doing what we're doing for 5 years? And if that's your choice, like, I respect that. If that's how you feel. But you have to also, on the other flip side of that, is understand that other people have differences of opinion of you, and it's okay. And then secondly, the best way to fight off all this stress and anxiety is to work out. The things you can control, which we keep saying, is your exercise. They can't take that from you. Your sleep, which you can try to sleep the best you can, right? So staying in a good routine there. And your nutrition.
Just how you react to things, man. It's your choice. You know, I just gotta let things be. You know, you can absolutely choose, you know, just like people choose to live in the mountains in the middle of nowhere and have no contact with anybody, and they source everything themselves. That's their choice. You can do whatever you want, but don't get mad at people for doing what they want.
All right. Wrapping up episode 91. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Remember, stay classy.
Happy birthday!